This came off the Anycubic Kobra X because while this looks like just another A1 clone, it's hiding something. So today we're opening it up, literally, because inside the Kobra X are 3 pieces of tech that could make it one of the most effective bed slingers at this price point right now. And when I saw them, it made me rewrite my entire concept for this video. But first, can we talk about the 260 thing? The build volume of this printer is 260 by 260 by 260. Can you guess what the price is though? Yeah, that's right. £260. That doesn't feel like an accident. That feels like really smart branding. At first glance, this looks like any other Bambu clone. Same layout, same concept, same audience, 3 years late. But here's the thing, layout doesn't equal performance, and every brand has been chasing Bambu for years now. But have Anycubic pulled an Apple here? Arrived late, but with a much better product? Well, one thing's for sure, if this is just a clone, it can't hide it for long. The biggest single improvement is the filament layout. Mounting them up on top saves loads of space on my desk, and each of the spool holders is numbered and corresponds to the relevant slot on the printhead. It's such a simple change, but it makes such a massive difference to your workflow. Well done, Anycubic. This is an absolute blinder of a change. Add to that a new screen, which is just a screen, and as soon as you start using it, you'll completely forget about it, which frankly is exactly what you want from a screen. You don't want to have to think about your screen when you're working with your printer. And most obviously is an upgraded aesthetic, a pleasing frame, a new belt layout, hidden solid tensioners, rubber feet, and that motion sensor could have been this video's first secret. It isn't though. Motion sensors do really matter though, because they help to reduce vibration-induced resonance, i.e. making the printer shake around, which goes a long way to explaining why the print quality is as good as it is on this printer. Talking about ghosting, gone are the issues that haunted its predecessor, the Kobra V2. The cutters, nozzle wipes and filament removal tools are all lined up nicely. And tucked under here is a little camera to film time lapses. But let's not muck about. The real money with the Kobra X is with its printhead. This video was almost very different. Full disclosure, I was sent a prototype Kobra X and, on my very first TPU print, the printhead jammed solid, completely locked up. So I had no choice but to strip down the entire printhead. And, while on the face of it, this was a bit of a nightmare, I'm really glad that happened because I found some absolute gold inside that I can show to you. Because what's inside this thing is not typical £260 hardware. First up, the printhead itself. This is a compact direct drive extruder and multi-filament system combined. On the front is a screen to show you which filament is loaded, and on top are 4 numbered ports for the filament. But more importantly, look at how it's mounted to the frame. Most of the weight is here, on top of the gantry, before wrapping around and then underneath, making the chance of vibration less than if all the weight was in front, like on the A1 or in the previous generations of Kobra. It's a really simple, but also really solid implementation of a printhead. And all the clever design and thought that's clearly gone into the printhead made my TPU clog even more interesting. So I had to dig a little bit deeper. With the front open, you can access the hot end, and more specifically the nozzle. As with previous generations of Kobra, the nozzle here is quick swap. Slightly different system here though. 1, 2, remove that silicone sleeve, 3, 4, and the nozzle is free. Just the nozzle though. As this is the most common replacement part, I am really happy to see this. On the Anycubic site at the moment, these are listed for sale for £13 in 4 different diameters from 0.25 to 0.8mm, and I hope we see lots of aftermarket options down the line too. This is a hardened steel nozzle too, so it's capable of being heated up to about 300 degrees, which gives it a real broad spread of filaments that are available to it. Using this nozzle design also allows Anycubic to cut the filament much closer and therefore waste less filament, as much as 50% less, which is a step in the right direction for sure. I do wonder though, does saving, say 30 grams of filament on a print actually swing you to buy this printer? My sense is that most of you, like me, are resigned to some plastic waste by now, or are just using the multi-filament modes for printing single colour and having multiples of each colour to reduce the risk of run out. I'm keen to know the answer to that, so let me know down in the comments if you've got strong opinions about whether the waste thing's a good thing or a bad thing, or you're completely indifferent to it. And I'm also going to add another caveat here. While I have tested the Kobra X now for, well, I don't know, a month or so, I did the same with the Kobra 3 V2 and the Kobra 3 Max, both of which were perfect in the first runs, but then 2 or 3 months later started to show signs of clogging. So I will be doing a long-term follow-up on this printer, so do stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for that if you're interested. But for now, let's go deeper.
Oh, no, not that. Just come on, you guys, let's do it.
And to go deeper, we really need to dive into the printhead itself, and that means stripping it down. To extract the mechanics from the casing, you need to push back that cutter and then the whole thing will just slide out. And once it's out, we get our first proper look at the treasure inside. After a quick look around, you start to notice something pretty interesting. All over the print head are various run-out sensors and filament sensors. This one I'm pulling out now is for the filament selection cam. And then the 4 on top corresponds to the 4 filaments that feed into the top of the print head. That makes a bit more sense when you see the numbers on top of the casing once again. One problem I did run into with this print head, and this is with the prototype print head and the production one which is on screen right now, is that the cable routing is quite long and complicated, and the cable connectors aren't taped, so that should one of those cables become detached, there's no way to really reattach it unless you remove the entire print head from its casing. It happened to me, it's frustrating. The next hidden bit though is behind this screen. Now most of the reviews I've seen so far I've just used the Anycubic stock footage, which in fairness is great, but I thought I'd go the extra mile and show you the physical unit. There's basically 2 bits to pay attention to. One is the big central cam, which as it rotates round, shifts those white plastic pieces and is the reason your filament is selected. And then the second part is the cable routing itself, which is really clever and includes tensioners and various pathways to make sure that your filament goes exactly where it needs to be. This is a really clever design and I'm so glad I had the chance to open it up and really take a look, because Anycubic have pulled an absolute blinder here. So the secret sauce of this printer really lies in a clever design that improves on previous generations of tech and gives the net result of higher quality prints. Easier. But let's not forget what caused that clog in the first place, and can this printer print TPU? Well, with the jam cleared and new firmware update which tweaks how TPU is handled, kind of. I did struggle with softer TPUs, but once I switched over to an AMS friendly TPU, then yeah, I was able to print TPU pretty effectively. So with all that unpacked, what secrets did we uncover? This toolhead isn't revolutionary, its secret is that it's an evolution on existing tech that's extremely well implemented and intentional. The nozzle design is clever, easy and cheap to replace, and saves money on filament too. The gear design is really clever, meaning multi-filament that previously took up desk space can now be simply mounted on top of the printer, and it's intuitive to load and unload. I am concerned that the printhead design is overly complicated, but lots of things are complex and there's no doubt this system is working for me so far. The question is whether it will continue to do so long term, so talk to me in 3 months and I'll have an answer for you. And for that third secret, well, let me show you the print test results first. The first printer printed post the first layer was in PETG, and it's for a project that's actually coming up on the channel, hopefully in about a month or so. It's a ventilation project where I'm basically working out a custom extraction system for the workshop to make sure I can extract all those resin fumes out and not into my lungs. I printed these 90-degree corners and straights and vent pieces on the Kobra X, and they came out brilliantly. While the finish isn't absolutely perfect, it's more than good enough and structurally solid, and all the parts went together neatly, so this more than does the job for what I'm hunting for, and just goes to show the Kobra X is more than capable of chucking out things other than silly little toys. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z as a kid, so after the PETG and the first layer tests were done, Goku was the first thing I printed. Now, the supports were a little bit of a nightmare to get off, so that just shows that the profiles aren't quite perfect, or at least as not as good as I'm expecting from, say, machines like the Bambu. There's still some work to be done here, but I am absolutely thrilled with the way this came out. The filament I was using is by Bambu Orange, Bambu Yellow, and Bambu Gradient Filament Solar Breeze for the skin, which I am absolutely obsessed with. I do wish they got the shading in the right place, but hey, I think it looks pretty good regardless. The dark blue sparkly that I used in place of black was by Landu. As I have the printer set up as just a 4-colour configuration, I didn't have quite enough colours to put the black and the white for the eyes, so I coloured those in manually. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the results. Hey, it's not the same quality as resin printing, and I could definitely paint something better, but for a quick print I can just pop on the printer and then fit and forget and then stick on my shelf, I am absolutely obsessed with how well this came out. There are a couple of issues with the print itself though. I think those are mainly due to how I coloured it in. There's a little bit of bleed on the orange jersey where the Landu filament is poking through, but I don't mind that too much. It looks okay, and that's like saying, hopefully I can get better at doing this sort of stuff and get better results in the future, but in terms of the actual printer output, yeah, I'm really, really pleased. While for the most part I avoid trying to print stuff that's going to create lots of extra plastic for no reason, sometimes 3D printing is about having fun too, and that is completely summarised by Frank the Frog pen holders. These are made by Gazaladra and I've linked them down in the description below. Quick question for you though, is he happy because he's stabbed in the head and he's a bit of a masochist, or is he sad because the pen's missing? You tell me. The print quality in these came out great. There was a little bit of stringing from the white PLA I was using. That's mainly a side effect of running in a sort of relatively cold, humid garage, and the filament being out longer than all the other filaments. The other thing I ran into was a little bit of colour bleeding on the eyes, particularly on the yellow. You can really see that here. But I am absolutely thrilled with these, and they definitely put a smile on my kids' faces. Back to slightly more functional prints now. And I have been obsessed with printing more organic shapes for, things like vases for my tables and plant pots for the bits and pieces we grow around the house. And so this set of vases by Modern Machine over on Thangs, links down below, have turned out really great and got some good comments from guests as they got around to the house too. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased. The print quality came out well. You can actually see the layer lines quite intensely, but I actually think that adds to the organic shape more than takes away with it, so this is great. The grey filament is by Landu, and I also printed out some smaller versions to test what the shapes were and see if I could like any of the slightly weirder versions as well. Those are also printed in Landu filaments, and one thing that I really did like was just how accurately their screw threads and that sort of stuff worked. Yeah, overall pretty pleased. Again though, fouled by that white Landu filament, which is clearly stringing, and therefore I definitely need to chuck it in a dryer at some point. But overall, very happy with the quality of the prints. As 3D printing becomes more mainstream, I'm starting to get more and more requests from my kids who have friends who are 3D printing stuff at school to make them stuff on the printer. And so one of the things I made were these tiny little octopus woggles. If you're not familiar with the term of a woggle is the thing that you use to hold a necker for uniformed organisations like scouts and guides together. It slides over the top of the necker, and I don't know, they're just a bit silly and fun, and I really like them. I've printed a whole bunch of these now, and yeah, it's fun. I do need to find some different shapes and different animals though, so if you've got any other recommendations, do let me know. This printer is aimed squarely at the entry-level market, and it's convenient that Anycubic are obsessed with the number 260 because that price point is right on the money. The Kobra X is engineered to hit a price without feeling cheap, and that matters because the third secret that this printer is hiding is that, in my opinion, this is an Anycubic printer that outperforms Bambu in almost every way. So if you are in the hunt for a new printer and you think the Anycubic Kobra X is for you, there are some links down below. You can go and click on it and purchase it through there, and that supports the channel so I can make more free videos like this one. So yes, the Kobra X jammed, but I'm glad it did. That jam forced me to open it up, and what I found inside wasn't corner cutting, it was careful compromise and clever design. So is this just an A1 clone? No, it's a calculated competitor that improves on it in most ways. And at £260 it may well be the smartest positioned budget 3D printer this year. But let's see what Bambu come up with. Coming next on the channel are tests for the S1 Max, a definitive review of where hay gears are at right now, including testing their new transparent resins, along with a whole suite of other videos including ventilation and UV lasers. So stay tuned and stay subscribed for that. And for anyone who supports me by commenting down below, clicking on affiliate links, or by supporting me on Patreon, you are all absolute legends, and I am so grateful to all of you. So I'll just leave you by saying that I'm James, this is RisingApe Minis, and I will see you next time.